Hey, Chris. All right. Now, let's hope that for whatever reason, my MacBook Pro speakers have been muted, and I don't know why. I don't know if it'll work now or not. Jeffrey will be in here in a minute. We'll see if I can hear him. I can hear through my earpods, but I can't hear the speakers. Who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows? Yep, Roy back. Charles. Crazy. I have no idea why. No idea. Yep. Everything's good on my end. Number 2. Yeah, thanks, Agnetha. Yeah. I had a feeling that might be a problem. Thanks, Agnetha. Yeah, what's today's subject? Yeah, we're starting all over. Oh, man. We'll see if Jeffrey finds me again. He comes back in. So, yeah. Hopefully. Yep. Yes, foobar on the audio on this end, or the output. It's the output. Obviously, you guys could hear me and you could hear Jeffrey. I just couldn't hear Jeffrey, and I have no idea why. It just I'll have to troubleshoot this more because I don't have any output to my speakers on the MacBook. Okay. Man, that's one of the things about going live. It's fine if you're recording because you can always go back and figure it out and fix it. You know, that could be, Agnetha. I don't know. I mean, obviously it was working fine up to a point, and then all of a sudden I lost my audio on the speakers here on the MacBook Pro. Don't know why. No idea. Jeffrey might have said, the heck with this, man. I'm out. Oh. Well, an update on my end. I am pursuing some other folks to bring in as guests. I'm going to try to get T-Mid, Photo Me Ike, and some others in here one night. Especially when we try to do a studio shoot. Working on getting somebody in here as a model to do a live shoot with the Z9 and all the lights and everything else. Hey, good. How's it going, man? Got some audio problems again tonight. You know, it's really nothing major. If it's just me in here, I can chat all night long with you. But having a guest, I couldn't hear the guest, and I don't know what the deal was. So I rebooted. Everything's up and running again. Let's hope that we found the bug. So yeah, I'm working on a few things. Sent out a lot of cold calls. It's just an old Army term, and trying to get some folks that might want to get in here and talk to us. There's a couple of young guys, Retro Rocket Studio. If you want to check them out, Retro Rocket Studio. Matter of fact, let me see. Nope. That is not it. Hey, Tay. Welcome back, man. Welcome back. You got a notification, Charles? Good. So then, everybody will find us. So, yeah, I mean, the intent of this, anything retro sounds good. Yeah, it does. They're two young guys they shoot Nikon. They just got a Z9 for their channel. I think I don't know what they do. They actually shoot paid photography. So trying to get them to come on and talk about why they chose Nikon and what they think so far of the Z9 and things like that. And then the other gentleman shoots weddings and things, but he shoots black magic. So he's shooting video black magic. And I'd like to get him in here too one night to talk about video. And he's a pretty creative guy, and maybe he gives us some ideas and, helps us out to be more creative ourselves. So whatever you do in video can spill over into photography stills as well. So, hey, Roy, I can tell you that it is not a rehash of the 80 to 400. It is definitely sharper. The autofocus on the 80 to 400 wasn't bad, but on the 1 to 400 is superb. I have that lens. I just need to get out and do some shooting with it. And unfortunately, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shoot that thing in the studio too, because of the close focus distance on it. It's a 100 millimeter lens for studio. Not that anybody's going to buy that lens for that, but just to show its capabilities, I'm gonna shoot it in the studio as well. Video knowledge. Well, we're going to try to get some of that. I'm going to try to get some video centric folks in to talk about video. I need some more learning on the subject of video myself. Yeah, all the Z lenses are sharper. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. The 8400 served me very well shooting a lot of motocross. Matter of fact, Supercross is on tonight. Shooting a lot of motocross, and I actually didn't have a problem with the sharpness of the lens. The out of focus area can be a bit busy on that 80 to 400, and shooting the 100 to 400, the little bit that I've shot it so far, I think that it's a little bit better, the out of focus area. Yeah, there are two different iterations. One is the screwdriver version of it, and the other is the G version, which is a much better lens. I like the lens, actually. On DSLRs, it was fine, but I do find the 100 to 400 to be a lot sharper. I shouldn't say a lot, because that would say that the 8400 wasn't even worth using, but it is sharper. And I have the TC 2.0X for the 100 to 400, and there may be a slight, mind you, degradation of the image with the 2.0 in line, but it's not enough. Okay, hang on, Jeffrey. I'll hook you up, man. Check your email. Hang on, folks. Let me get Jeffrey back in here. Mm-hmm. Da, 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 da. All righty. All righty. A lot going on. Yeah, Roy, I know a lot of people are against variable aperture lenses. You know, well, here's what I have to say about the 1-400. It's the poor man's 800 millimeter lens. Yes, at f8 with the 2.0 in line, but the resolution is good even out to 800 millimeter. The one problem that you have is it's obviously slower on the AF side, even with the Z9. Now that could be me. I just need to play with it more, and I'm going to do that again as soon as I can get out and do it. We get a little weather, better weather. Jeffrey,
All right, you hear me?
still don't hear Jeffrey. Unbelievable. I don't understand. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Don't worry about it, Jeffrey. You're in here. That's all that matters. If you can hear me, that's great.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I can't hear you. I have no idea why.
Oh, well, I don't know if anybody could hear me or not.
I have no idea why. It's crazy. Something changed somewhere, and I don't know how it changed, but it obviously did. So a lot of people are waiting for that 2 to 600. I'll tell you, I don't know that I'm waiting for it as much as maybe one of the PF lenses. You know, there's still the possibility of the 400, and a lot of people are still talking about that, even though I don't see it on the roadmap. But another 400.
Thanks, guys. I talk real loud. That's why you can hear me in California.
This is just unacceptable, MacBook. If that's what it is, I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. Crazy. Ah. Okay. Okay, Roy. And that's some are talking about the possibility of it being a PF lens, possibly even an F4. I don't know. Yeah, I could pull up another. I have the other laptop sitting over here that I could pull up YouTube, but the delay is going to be crazy. I just don't know why I'm not getting any audio out of the MacBook all of a sudden. All the streaming preferences I've checked. No, this is going to be another one. It'll drive me nuts tomorrow until I figure it out. Yep, speaker's on. The speaker is on. But you know what I can do? I can get let me try something. All right. Let's see if it'll recognize this. All right. All right. We can try now and see if we got any sound. Jeffrey?
What do you think?
It, for
Nothing.
whatever reason, will not. Nope.
No.
uh, I've tried everything here, and I just don't know why it's not going to work. No idea, folks. No idea. Aggravating as it is.
No. I don't know.
I have no idea. Anyway, I don't know if this is something that Restream has done to me.
I don't want to ruin the show for everybody else. If you folks could just text Chuck and let him know I'm gonna
Okay.
get out of here and let him just run the show without me. I'll try to join with him some other time. I want him to be able to talk with you folks and not spend
Hey.
the rest of the time fooling around trying to get me working again.
All right. We got it.
Now you can hear me?
Yep. I hear you.
Okay, we could do one of those commercials, can you hear me now? I guess I'll stay now that you hear me. I was telling everybody I was just gonna go away so you could keep doing the show instead of trying to fool around getting me to work again.
No, we got it now. We got it now. I still don't know why it won't recognize the MacBook speakers, but doesn't matter. Hey, JBL to the rescue. And that's working. So great. Hey, good. Am I going to WPPI? No. I would actually go. I'm not a wedding shooter by any stretch of the imagination, but I would go just to see everything out there and meet a lot of people. I think that'd be great. Mosman. Troubleshooting 101. Yeah. Eventually we got to find something that works, right? Okay. So we're back and that's working. So who knows? Who knows? Yes, Tay. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. All right. So I don't even know where the conversation was. Where do you guys want it to go? I guess that would be the better question. Oy.
I think they want me to leave at this point. I caused
No,
enough
no, no,
trouble.
no, no.
Because
No.
this happens, Chuck, every time I try to go on one of your feeds. This is a pattern.
No, I don't believe in that kind of stuff. So I have no idea. Looks like we got most everybody back. So yeah, it's anyway, I told you where we're going with the channel here. Not going, you know where we're going. We just get on here, we have a topic, we spend a few minutes on it, and then it seems like we're off to the races, and that's fine. That's what it's all about. Just having some show us more pictures and tell the backstory. Okay, so we're talking to you, Jeffrey, because I obviously didn't have any photos up.
Well, last time I tried, they said it was kind of like getting covered up by other things on my desktop. So I will try to move the screen that I'm looking at you way to the bottom of my desktop. And I will click on the share screen and I will try again. And if it's not looking good, I'm not going to waste everybody's time. I mean, the pictures are not, National Geographic worthy or anything. So I will hit the share screen right now. We will see what happens in a second.
All right. Hang on.
And,
I'll click and it's up.
all right. And I will open up a picture that I had shown earlier, and we'll see if people see it. I guess I'll count on you, Chuck, to let me know if you can see it.
I can see it.
Okay. You get confirmation that others see it, then I'll talk about it and kind of go through a few.
I have barn and shed, so evidently they can see. Yep, we
Okay.
can see it.
All right. So
Thanks,
I
Gustavo.
talked about this earlier. This was probably a 20-year-old picture from Vermont, and it just rained. And in my earlier days of photography, I just used to hop in the car, drive 3 or 4 hours away, and if I saw something interesting, I would get out of the car and take a picture. And it just rained. The color saturation was good, and I grabbed the shot. I'll go to a different one. This is the Portland Head Lighthouse in Maine. And this is what I did predominantly when I started. A lot of seascapes, landscapes, old barns, old cars. I'd go to car shows. Um, Obviously, family photos, which I'm not going to share. Um, I never got into doing portraits or um, what do you call it, street scenes because of the logistics with model releases and things like that. So I didn't want to get into having to get permission if someone was identifiable in the picture. So then when I went to Myrtle Beach, I started taking more wildlife and nature shots. And everybody probably heard me talk about this before. Uh, Low tide, gator got in a small pool of water and probably had 45 minutes of him eating like crazy. He had a turn, getting a fish. I do take small birds as well. So painted buntings are really popular down here. People love them. They'll drive from all over to come down here and get pictures of them. We do get minks. This is a recent photo. He went in the water, got a fish, jumping over the rocks with the fish in his mouth. One day he went in and out of the water about 5 times, would stuff the fish in the rock, go back in and get another fish. Then he disappeared for about 10, 15 minutes while he ate them all. This was a pair of cormorants, and I took this because, I mean, if I was shooting video, this would have been a great music video. They were just spinning around like ballerinas in the water. This was a gator that got hung up on a vine. They tend to go in the park. There's basically a road. They call it the causeway. Left hand side is saltwater marsh that changes with the tides. Right hand side is controlled, water levels controlled with a gate, and that's brackish water. And so you get a wide variety of birds from all over. Some like the saltier water, some like the brackish water. We do have a nesting pair of eagles, which is really neat. And I take pictures of everything. When it's slow, if the birds are too far out, and that's shooting with a 500 PF, I'll take a picture of dragonflies. Uh, there's always something you can get a picture of, and you just modify your day depending on what you see. I know you like kingfisher shuck. Uh, this one has a favorite spot on a sign, gets a fish, beats the heck of it on the sign to break up the bones, makes it easier to swallow, and then sucks it down. Great blue heron that I saw looking through the woods on one of the side roads. And this was quite a ways into the woods near the water, and got very fortunate to see this and get a shot of it. At Brook Green Gardens across the street, last year there was a great horned owl that had babies, laid 3 eggs. Unfortunately, one didn't hatch. One of the babies fell out of the nest and didn't make it. And the survivor is here. And I have to go back there soon and see if they reestablished having their young there again in the same spot. There's another one of the owl with its, well, yawning. And we also get pileated woodpeckers, which are one of my favorites. Let's see, I'll just show a few more. Obviously, we get, I'll fly through some of these. Just wood storks at sunrise. Spoonbills are, everybody comes down to try to see them. And there's actually still 2 here, which should have left over a month ago, but they're hanging out.
Charles has a question for you there. What camera are you using to film your stream, Jeffrey?
Actually, I'm just using the camera on the Mac.
Okay.
But I do take close-ups. I like doing the ferns here early in the morning. The little white dots are just beads of water, dew. And another flower here with the, oops, with the dew showing in the front. And this year I finally found a hummingbird not near a feeder. So I really like that one. But we have very large spiders down south. We have banana spiders. And this is one you would think the wasp might win. It was no contest. The spider took them out quick, wrapped them up, meal for later on. It was seconds, it was over. The let's see, prothonotary warblers with an insect. This was at ground level, basically an opening in a hedge. And then I got a ring-billed gull here in flight, which I really like with a fish. These are all with the D850, most of them with either a 500 PF with no telly, um, or with the 200 to 500. And we get brown pelicans. This is an adult, has a little of the yellow, which you could barely see at the top. Right now we have the white pelicans that are down here that show up in usually around November, and they feed totally differently. I mean, the brown pelicans slam down into the water to get their fish. The white pelicans never do that. They just form a tight group, and they are like a sewing machine. Their heads just go up and down, and they get a fish that way. They do not slam the water. And the white pelicans are roughly 1 to 2 pounds heavier. And I do, like I said, the spoonbills are favorite. These guys are cool. Skimmers. And we got I'll tell a little story about, I'll just show two more. These will be sequential. Last week, I spotted a barred owl, and basically it was about 5 feet off one of the side roads. I walked by it. Something told me to turn my head and look back behind me. And I'm like, boy, that thick branch is sticking up off a thin branch. That doesn't make sense. Did a double take, said, geez, that's an owl. Backed up. Of course, it didn't take long for the world to know that I found it. Next thing you know, I got like 4 to 6 photographers next to me. Spent 6 hours taking picture of this owl, probably close to 1,000 shots. Um, it flew to 3 different trees, and eventually it dove down to get some prey, either a mouse or a vole. So I got it when it was just coming up after landing on the ground, which is this shot here. And then the next shot, from looking at the back of my camera, I thought it actually had gotten something, but it did not. It's just dirt and some dark grass in the talons here, and he took off without any food, but got literally hundreds of shots, different poses, different lighting, different angles, 3 or 4 different backgrounds depending on where he moved to, and it was a very long day. So I think that's it. I mean, hopefully you liked them, and I will get out of sharing the screen. That's that. But that's what I spend probably, I would say, typically 20, 25 hours a week shooting photos like that, and probably the same amount of time or longer editing them when I get home. So it's like a full-time job, but just like Chuck, I'm non-NPS. I give photos as gifts. Don't make any money from them. Maybe someday that'll change, but it's not cost effective for me right now to try to do a business.
I just lost the audio again. I have no idea why. This is ridiculous. It's driving me crazy. Just on its own, it decided that's it. Oi, 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 oi.
Well, I'm glad you guys like the shots. That's my way of chilling with the way things are in the world today is get out and nature, relax, and
I
get
have
what I can
no
get.
idea. This is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, unfortunately, well, because I'm awaiting a Z9, I had two D850s. I sold one of them. I sold a small uh, Illumix Micro Four Thirds mirrorless, and in hindsight, I should have kept that and used that as a video camera. So I regret it now, but it's gone now. I actually ordered a couple of those two owl prints I showed you. I ordered two 20 by 30 metallic pearlescent prints from MPix. I use them a lot. Be interesting to see how they come out. I've been using them for over 20 years, and usually they do a great job.
Hey, Ted.
Charles, I see you don't like snakes. Um, I lived in Conway, South Carolina for a little while before I moved to Myrtle Beach. And I had I believe it was a black racer in my front yard with a huge lizard in its mouth. And I ran in the house, got a series of pictures, and got it where the mouth was open and you could just see the tail sticking out, wiggling around. But I got it from the time it was about a third of the way in until uh, the snake swallowed the whole lizard. Kind of disgusting, but cool at the same time.
It's ridiculous. I have no idea. It's so frustrating tonight. I can't figure out why it's doing this, but it is.
You'd be
I'm going to have to
amazed
go into
some things that
preferences
I
for the
do for a
computer to
picture.
change whatever it is that's going on.
I've had, I mean, not intentionally, but I've had 12-foot gators. They
Yeah,
like
no
to
problem,
cross
Charles.
the
It's just a matter
causeway.
of,
I've had them 2 inches
I
away
can't
from my
hear
foot.
Jeffrey, but
My wife's waiting
I
for
can
me not to
participate
come
in the
back home.
conversation here with everybody. And obviously, you can hear both of us, and I guess that's fine. That's good. I all right. This is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, we have quite a few copperheads, like you said, Osman.
Absolutely crazy.
I don't go looking for snakes, but there is a lady that specifically just looks for snakes. If I see one, I get a picture, but I don't go hunting them. Unfortunately, there are some crazy people that go to the state park, uh, which really should just get thrown out. The rangers are not out walking around to see what's going on, but there's been little kids who throw rocks at the gators that are like 4 feet from the sidewalk, and they don't see them moving. They think, oh, they're not real. They start throwing rocks at them. And then those of us that are there taking pictures end up, telling the father or the mother, hey, stop letting your kid throw rocks at the gators. That gator can go 25 plus miles an hour. And if it wanted to, your kid would be gone in a minute or less. But they're idiots. I mean, we don't have the quantity of any one species of bird down here to compare with Florida. But what we do have is a great mix, and there's such a variety that you can take on any given day, and obviously, uh, seasonally, certain species leave, come and go, um, but it's just a phenomenal place. And my wife says, "Well, aren't you taking too many pictures of the same thing?" I said, every day is different. Every day you're doing something different. Every day the behavior is a little different. And I can't think of any better way to spend my time. And I've probably taken since last April around 50,000 pictures. Not that I kept 50,000, but I took about 50,000 pictures. We had a
That's
lot
the nice
of
thing about Connecticut is we don't have a lot of snakes up here to worry about.
we had the black water moccasins in Connecticut in some of the ponds, and garter snakes were real common. Well, I'll tell you, I won't be accused of not getting my money's worth, and I'll be glad when I get to Z9 next week, because I won't be wearing out a shutter. And I know there's going to be quite a learning curve to it. I've already read the manual on Nikon USA's website, so we'll see how well I took notes in terms of the setup, and hopefully I won't miss too much time before I'm productive with it. But I am not going to shoot 20 frames per second right out the gate. My friend had the camera for about 3 weeks, and I think I took 300 pictures one day, and I was there 2 hours longer than him. And then he told me the next day that he had taken over 1,000. Of course, he was shooting at 20 frames a second. Too easy to get stuck on the computer for the next year. I agree, Roy. That's what I'm expecting. I held off on mirrorless for a long time. I didn't think the offerings were a good fit for me doing uh, birding with a Z6 or Z7 II, what have you. Autofocus wasn't fast enough. and I'm glad I waited. Costing me more than I want to spend, but it's going to do everything I want. It's going to make my keeper rate much higher. I'll get shots that I didn't get before. Well, my problem now, Roy, Charles, is going to be I was going to keep the D850 as a backup. I was going to keep a handful of F mount lenses, use the FTZ adapter. I was only going to buy new lenses that would fit the niche for the landscape. I'm sorry, birding, nature shots. I was going to keep my other lenses to use when I do landscape. Can't replace everything. I mean, right now, um, what you could get for even exceptionally well maintained EX minus condition lenses and bodies, uh, the D850 dropped like $400 or $500, like when I was getting ready to sell it. Like all of a sudden, when the Z9 was announced, the price offerings dropped like $400, and at this point, it's not worth ditching the F glass, and I'm just going to keep them. And I'll getting to 100 to 400 and the 24 to 120s on back order, and I'll never
I have
afford the
no idea.
400.
I have no audio again.
So maybe the 800 PF when it comes out, if it's affordable.
Appreciate you carrying the conversation though, Jeffrey, because I have nothing here. Um,
I think I might be putting
ay,
the
ay,
audience
ay,
to
ay,
sleep,
ay,
but
ay, ay.
I'll try to keep them awake. But I'm not going to sing. That will not work. Yeah, I'm wondering if the little pictorial they show of the 600 lens makes me think it might be an f4, although people are saying it might have a 1.4 TC like the 400 2.8, but uh, hard to tell from the picture. And if they did that and threw a 1.4 TC on that, you're going to have too many $10,000 plus lenses. And, let's face it, if you're not making money with a camera, it's really, really hard to justify 5 figures for a lens. And you have to offer a good, well, more than a good quality lens, a great quality lens that's affordable for us wildlife shooters that aren't selling prints for $800 to $1,000 a piece. Yeah, if the 600's an f4 in a Z mount, I mean it'll be over 10 grand. I mean, one can hope that the 2 to 600 zoom, when that comes out, obviously it's 100 millimeters longer than 200 to 5 f mount, but hopefully the quality is better than that lens. Hopefully it's priced maybe $200-300 more because of the extra reach, and that would be a good lens. I mean, I love the 2 to 5. I didn't sell it. The only reason I bought the 500 PF was I'm shooting 5, 6 hours straight on my feet that whole time, walking around, and I wanted the reduced weight. And also, the 2 to 5 didn't acquire focus quick enough for me. Once you locked on, you were good. But I lost too many opportunities with it not locking on initially quick enough, which that problem went away with the 500 PF. But I'll always keep the 2 to 5. It's great, like if you were on a boat um, where you don't know how far away the wildlife's going to be from you. Obviously, if you got the 500 on your camera and the bird is on a log and it's 20 feet away, it isn't going to work too well. You need to have the zoom. I'm just curious. I know I can't set anything up to get a survey, but uh, myself personally, I'm usually on site where I'm going to take my pictures um, at least 30, 40 minutes before sunrise. So I'm scouting out the area, I'm seeing what's around, deciding what part of the park I want to start shooting at. Um, but I don't use any filters on my lenses. If I stay, late in the day, really later than I should, I might put a circular polarizer on the lens after a while. But typically, if I'm there at 6:15, 6:30 in the morning, usually the best pictures are gone by about 10 o'clock. I mean, I worry about sometimes if I go to the beaches, I worry about, sand hitting the glass and I might put a UV filter on, but even then, I usually don't. I put the lens hood on all the time. Um, Curious what you guys do. I don't know if you guys remember, God, 20, 25 years ago, uh, in portrait photography, there was that brief period of time where people used to smear Vaseline on their UV filters to create a dreamy effect when they did the portraits. Some of the things that we used to do to get a more creative shot was pretty funny back in the day. Yeah, I agree. Well, I'll tell you in terms of lighting, I like all lighting, except for the harshest, noontime sun. But I love when you get rim lighting on the birds, especially a white bird. You just get that nice glow around the edges of the bird. I love that. Um, Obviously, overcast makes it where you're not blowing out the egrets and the white birds. Even the spoonbills are kind of tough when it gets too bright out. But typically I try to underexpose like a half a stop, sometimes a little bit more if it's predominantly white birds. I would rather bring up the shadows, like to brighten up the water, and not blow out the birds. Um, oh, Charles, you were around in those days to do that too, huh? Well, it was amazing all the filters you had back then. You had uh, filters to put on the camera to simulate, sunrise. Uh, you had all sorts of gadgets. So much of that you can artificially do in post now. Um, I just don't use the filters too much. I do have fun once in a while fooling around with an ND. I have a variable ND filter. If I want to have that milky look with the water, say a beach scene with a pier and the water's coming in, make that silky smooth, or shooting a waterfall, wanting the water to be silky smooth. That's when it's cool to use the ND. Yeah, I agree, Roy. The filter, I mean, most of the Nikon lenses, that I use are 77 millimeter, but I looked at the 14 to 24 Z mount, and I'm guessing here. I don't know if that's like 112 millimeters or something crazy, and there are only a couple of filter manufacturers that'll for that lens for NDs or polarizers, and of course Nikon's one of them. And for both the polarizer and the uh, NDs, they're like $700 a piece. Now, I'm sorry, when you're paying that much money for the lens, I, for one, do not want to pay $700 for a filter. I mean, I'm not looking for one that's $60. I'll pay $200, maybe three, but not seven. So if I were to get a wide angle Z uh, lens, because of the filter size, I might I might do I think it's the 14 to 30 f4. That has much smaller filter sizes. If you don't mind me asking, uh, what's the, what's that filter set, Mosman, cost that you got for the 14 to 24? Is it real expensive? I'm assuming that's the rectangular filters with a holder, and you just slip them in. Yeah, I think Charles, the 14 to 30 f4 is a good deal. Thanks for the info, Mosman. Appreciate it. I mean, I think the 14 and 30 obviously is a little softer in the edges. I think the 14 to 24, even wide open, is sharp in the corners. It's not going to be that way with the 14 to 30, but realistically, if you're doing
Hey guys, I hate to
landscapes,
break this up, but I have
you know,
no audio again. I have no idea why, and it's just frustrating. At least on my end, I can't participate. So I'm going to pull the plug on this here in just a second. I'm going to reboot the whole computer. I'm not going to come back up, but just wanted to let you guys know I'm sorry about that. I have no idea what happened. This is a new first. But and you guys were carrying on such a good conversation too. I'm really happy about that, because again, that's what this is all about. This is frustrating. It's just locked out sound completely, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, technology is only good when it works.
I have nothing. I don't know what happened. I've gone through all the preferences in the software on the computer. Sorry about that. Really am. Jeffrey, I'm really happy you were in here. At least you had an opportunity to chat with everybody. Again, it looked like a great conversation going. We'll try to pick this up again next week. So Wednesday, be going live again. Wednesday night. There will be a reminder that goes out. I'll probably put out a short recorded video just like this time. So, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's funny because obviously everything else is working fine. Yeah. I'll give it a shot if I can't get anything else to work, Mosman.
I'd like to thank you guys for your patience with everything.
All right, Roy.
Letting me somewhat entertain you. I appreciate it. Hope to be back another time, and with Chuck running the show.
All right.
It was not my intent.
All right, folks. I would say like, share, and subscribe, but that seems kind of stupid right now.
Okay, Chuck. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, thanks, Jeffrey. Oh, man. All right, so we'll get back with it. Same thing. We'll figure it out. I'll get this taken care of, and then Wednesday we'll go at it again. So, hey, thanks for coming in, or actually chasing me to this link for the second go around. Sorry I couldn't get it going. At least the audio on my end. Obviously, there's something going on here with either Restream or the computer, but I'm going to reboot everything and see if I can get it to work. Thanks for dropping in. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
And
no
everybody that showed up. Everybody have a wonderful night. Rest of the weekend. Thank you, Agnetha. Yeah, not totally wasted. God bless y'all. I hope everybody's well. And we will see you again on Wednesday night for the next live stream. Have a good evening, everybody.